Just one moment.
Do you want...
Even more.
Obviously!
See, I'm greed. I want everything you can think of.
Then I propose a deal.
Equivalent exchange! Huh? I'll give you...
More.
Awesome!
Videos.
If you...
Please.
Like.
Comment.
Subscribe.
Sorry about that interruption.
We're off! Let's hit the road!
Now, I can't play the sound because I'm going to get copyright, but I believe this is the ending. What is this? Yeah, it's the ending. So here's the ending. I'm actually going to slow it down real quick. Here's the ending of it. And, oh, you're not seeing anything. My bad. Okay. I know what I'm doing, I swear. Okay. So here's the ending. It has like a bunch of images. One complaint that I have is there's not a whole lot of brand new stuff. I know that in the in other intros, endings, they put more thought into, I could say, the animations we're looking at. This just looks like a compilation of previous clips, which is fine, but, you know, I would have maybe liked something else. Now, I'm pretty sure this one has, this is the ending one, so it has the music from It's All Said Unravel. And I gotta be honest, it doesn't really fit Geass. It's not, like, the guy's not a bad singer. It's just, you know, Geass isn't, I mean, it has psychological elements to it, but when I think of that guy who's singing, I think of Tokyo Ghoul, and Tokyo Ghoul is a very different show, like, than Geass. And the music for that anime fit it perfectly. Like, Tokyo Ghoul and Unravel, like, it just fits like a glove. But I'm watching this, and it just, or listening rather, and it really just didn't, it didn't work for me. One thing else I don't like about this ending, too, is that in the original endings, they had, like, really cool picture drama style art. I can show you guys real quick by just, hold on. Give me a second here. I'm kind of fast forward. I'm kind of zipping through this. Come on. Hope you guys don't get a seizure. Okay. Come on. Yeah. You get like this type of art. If they were going to do a rebroadcast, I would expect to see something like this. That's why they're so good in Geass, because they have like these unique art styles they came up, or I guess arts paintings. There we go. And they don't have that in these in this new ending. You don't really have that. It's just compilation. Everything up to Naruto looks like. Oh, this is not Naruto. That's a little afterwards. No, wait. No, it's not. What am I talking about? So it's not the worst. But yeah, I'm kind of a dick. I don't like. I don't think Unravel makes any sense in Geass. Just me though. Okay. Now the other one, the intro. Hold on. Let me load. This is the intro to Geass, or the new intro. Again, I can't play the music because I'm going to copyright. Oopsies. All right. So the song that Flo sings here, I'm just going to point out, is not terrible. It's a good song. It just doesn't fit. You know, when you listen to the last song, I forgot the name of it, but season 2, the fifth intro, that song was really good, and so was Flo. They both kind of, not Flo, Colors. They both had the same tone and direction. Like, this song just is all over the place. It just doesn't fit. And I think people were kind of feeling the same way, because, you know, I don't know, I shouldn't have expected anything. And again, people were complaining that there was no new footage or anything created. And considering Geass Code has like a bunch of new footage made, you think they could have done something. This is just look, it's well edited, okay? Don't get me wrong here. It's well edited, very beautiful. I mean, that's good 3D effects right there. A good blending of like the images of every single part of the show. And I'm curious to see what they'll do as they we go through more of the seasons, or episodes rather. But I shouldn't expect anything. I won't be that guy. I think it's pretty cool. It's cool, the compilation of all the videos and images. The song, however, I could do without it. It's pretty cool. I would have liked some brand new stuff in it at least, but whatever. I have complained in the past that I hate anime that are not creative with their intros, and they literally just what's it called? They like take a bunch of their own episode clips and put together. I mean, like Yu-Gi-Oh! For God's sakes did that. And that was a what was it? That was a 4 kids show. So the bar isn't set too high, but Overall, pretty cool intros. Would have liked new animations. Music for both didn't really fit. Okay, so now, why is Lelouch's plan to take down Jeremiah so brilliant? Well, I wrote a bunch of notes down. We're going to go through all the major ones. First of all, Lelouch took advantage of Jeremiah's, not necessarily stupidity, but his motivations and emotions, because he was trying to make a big show of Suzaku being executed. Probably because, this is just a opinion, they don't necessarily say it in the story, but because Jeremiah felt so bad while having to Marion, he wanted to really make sure people knew he got credit for finding the one who killed Clovis, because he felt like a failure after what happened to Marion. So that's why he probably made a big deal out of this, because to him, if he can put the guy who killed Clovis behind bars or execute him, it would kind of redeem himself. So Lelouch doesn't know about that part, but he knows you might want to make a big deal of it. He's not sure why. So he knew that if he came in with Clovis's car, Jeremiah would be like, okay, let's go check this out. And all Lelouch had to do was get close to Jeremiah to use the Geass on him. And that's the most important part. He also knew that Jeremiah had no idea about the gas, which is important because he could use that to threaten all the civilians. People always say that Lelouch basically took advantage of what they were doing. And again, like I said before, in like my first episode analysis, taking advantage of people doing stupid things doesn't mean you're like just like the tallest midget. It means you actually are quite smart. Taking advantage of people's mistakes is one of the biggest key aspects and more. And if the situation was different, let's say Jeremiah took different standards, maybe different precautions. Maybe he transports Suzaku in a armored car underground. Lelouch would have done something differently. But the point is, because this is the situation that was presented in front of him, he came up with the best plan in the small time possible, by the way. He came up with this like 3 days. He figured out not only how we're going to get to Jeremiah and Suzaku, how we're going to escape, and how we're going to make sure we don't get killed. Because even if they got to Jeremiah and maybe were able to bargain Suzaku's freedom or just get close to Suzaku, how the hell are they going to not get killed by the guards? So he thought of all this in a matter of a couple of days. And again, if things were different, where let's say Jeremiah had some other plan in mind, Lelouch would have done something different. Obviously, it's not a critique of, let's say, oh, the guy was stupid, Lelouch isn't smart, the guy was just stupid. That's not what happened here. Jeremiah was obviously he probably was doing too much here with the celebration, but to say like it was completely his stupidity that won the day is not accurate. Unless someone else had a Geass power, no one else could have done that. You'd have to have Geass to have accomplished what Lelouch did. So the situation is perfect for Lelouch, but that doesn't mean it was like Jeremiah was acting like an idiot there. That's the thing people kind of get wrong when it comes to that scene. This speech, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Number one, like I mentioned, these students here, they were from the intro to the show. So they're with them. I guess they're friends. Now, while Charles is talking, everyone has like a different reaction to the speech about, the strong versus the weak. Inequality is the right way to go. Charles talking, yes. All right, so Shirley she's kind of, she is in awe of the speech. I'm not sure she agrees with what he's saying, but her expression is just someone who is in awe of like the whole experience. Then you see Rivel, who's like, he's in love with this. What kind of expression is this? He's talking about inequality, how it's a good thing, and how we're going to strive to become the best. And his expression is kind of funny. It's almost like I don't know what to make of it. I don't think that's an appropriate thing to say, even if you agree with it. So it's kind of, okay, he's loving this stuff. I'm not sure if that means that he's favors Britannian's awful rule or reign over people or their policies, but he's loving this. Then you go on, and then you see Millie's, who is very serious. Which is interesting. I interpret it as either she's doesn't like this, or maybe she's not doesn't care either way. But her expression is very serious, which is interesting because she's a very lively and happy individual, very emotional. But here, she's like very serious, dead expression, which means she must hate what Charles is saying or doesn't really care either way. But you don't see her look like that much in general. Then Colin is obviously pissed off because this philosophy is the reason for her country being conquered, and she hates Britannia. So she's understandably very angry. Nina is she's fairly calm. Doesn't seem to care one way or the other. She's just like, yeah, this is fine. She's looking down because she's not proud, because we know Nina isn't a proud person. It's one of her flaws that she's very she has no self-confidence, which leads to like practically all of her bad decisions. But she's like, yeah, she has no expression here. She's pretty much okay with this. That's the impression I get from her expression here. Then we see Detard kind of just looking at the footage of Zero. He didn't care about Charle, which is great. Doesn't even give a darn. Then they're still talking. Then we see, and something else too, we see, yeah, pretty, no little expression from either of these two characters. The royal family is what I thought was the most interesting. I don't know if I've missed them yet. Let's see. Cecile says Lloyd obviously wouldn't care because he's a sociopath. Cecile is loyal to her country. That's why, she's kind of the way she is in terms of like the supporting it. I'm not sure if she really agrees or not, but yeah. Okay. So Cornelia is like, again, like Shirley earlier, she has the same, see how her eyes are kind of like shaking in awe of what her father is saying. But then you look at Euphemia and she's upset because she doesn't believe this at all. This is not her ideal or her, I guess, philosophy about life and human beings and how we are equal, we're not unequal, and this whole like strong versus the weak and social Darwinism. Like she's clearly upset by this, but can't say anything because she's obviously part of the royal family. But I love the contrast between the two characters responding to this. Cornelia is evidently supporting of this and all of her father's words, while Euphemia is upset and wants to cry because this is not the correct way to live. And again, it's very interesting. You're seeing a lot of stuff. Well, no one's saying anything, but you sure learn a lot from all this. Which is why I don't know why people say this episode is terrible. Plus, you get this epic speech from Charles, which summarizes all Britannian culture, philosophy, military strategy. All of it comes together in this one speech that Charles talks about, or Charles says. It also discusses the EU and the Chinese Federation and their political, I guess, I was going to say policies compared to Britannia. It's a lot of role building too in the speech. It's one of those epic speeches in anime. If there was like a top 10 epic speeches for anime that wasn't said by an MC, this would probably be one of them. And oddly enough, this has nothing to do with Clovis either. He's just talking about Britannian dominance. This has nothing. I mean, he mentions Clovis very briefly, but this is more about just Britannian dominance. It's a lot of people, by the way. And now Suzaku's expression here, I wasn't sure what to make of this because he's like, so they see how he starts off like kind of like upset, like kind of like neutral, then he gets upset because I think deep down he doesn't like Charles because obviously he conquered his country and caused him to kill his own father. So if he wanted to change Britannia from within, he can't possibly like the speech. This part's kind of weird to me, and I kind of passed this one off because, well, I guess the show had different writing or they went a different direction because C2 acts like she has no idea who Charles is, but we know later on she does. She says, oh, this is your enemy, but she knew about Charles earlier. I give it a pass because I think R2's writing was different than the original plan. That's why you have this inconsistency in the characters. Because otherwise, this is an apparent contradiction because she's... And keep in mind, there's no one in this room, by the way. She's talking to herself. It's not like Lelouch is in there talking to her and she has to protect Charles for some reason. She's in this room by herself and she's saying out loud, this is Lelouch's enemy. She doesn't say, oh, there's Charles, or, oh, I see Charles is still doing his thing or something. She's like kind of confused. So it's kind of a pseudo plot hole. I guess, again, it must have been the writing. They didn't know what they wanted to do at this time. So that's kind of how I deal with that, I guess, apparent contradiction.
Bring it on, old man. Bring it on!